Yeah, so this is a clarification. So I was in a session, and there was one point in time I really just wanted to not deal with something. So my question is that could have been, I could have sort of viewed that as a defractionation. I want to step out and figure something else. But this was no, I really, I actually just wanted to leave the room. Mm-hmm. So how do you sort of distinguish between, because I want to step out, I'm going to step out, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to look at this, and really what you're doing is you're avoiding the issue.
You're running, yeah.
So that was kind of, I had a little eureka moment there going, how would I know that to distinguish between the two?
Yeah, let me explain too. Now, this is during a session, is that right? Yeah. All right, that's normal. No, you can't leave the room. So now here, let's look at this logically. Now I've worked in drug rehabs for over 10 years or longer than that, who knows how long. And then weight loss is another drug. Food is a drug. You have to understand our number one coping skill in the world, everybody does it. It is why addicts are super good at being an addict, is because we're trying to avoid our feelings. Of all the years been drug rehab, they'll say, why do you use drugs? I say, I just don't want to feel what I feel. I want to feel better. I want to avoid what's going on inside my head. This is the number one thing. Now, it is normal to want to escape. So here it is, you're in a session and they say, hey, let's go to the problem. And you go, hold on a minute, I'd like to go get a donut right now. I feel like donuts are calling me. Or I got to go to the loo. Or toilets. I got to get out of here. This is typical and normal. Or they want to hurl, or belch, puke, or fall asleep. All of these are normal mechanisms that we use to avoid what we don't want to deal with. And of course, if you go to the big one and you have somebody there to help you do the big one, just go there, really. You open the box up, you clean what's in there. And that's the key. So it is normal to avoid. Now, there's another thing, and this is another thing that happens in this tapping stuff. First of all, all your stuff is already inside you. From your past, you brought it with you. You take it everywhere you go. All right? So let's say you're tapping on yourself, and your mind reveals something that you didn't want to see. Something that's really bad or really hurtful and really painful. Then all of a sudden it scares you, and you quit tapping altogether. Isn't that right? I see it happen a lot. And I said, well, and if you stop there, you stay there. That means, say a big one shows up, and it's a big one, and you just stop tapping. What you're ultimately saying, I like this, I love this, and I want to keep this. That's what it really says. Because we know this changes it. And since you're scared and you run from it, you're ultimately saying, this is my sacred holies of holies. We don't walk the ground here, but I like this, I love it, and I'm going to keep it. Once you tread across that area and you start throwing the dead bodies out and you clear the land, you got flowers. But if you don't, you're always going to be running from what's inside you. This is a normal, typical way of doing it. So if you get to the point where somebody says, well, tapping stopped working for me. I said, are you still tapping? I said, no. All right. And then another person, and one specifically, she's had some pretty big physical, medical traumas. And of course, I've worked on her and I knocked some of her pains away and she's feeling really good. She's getting really great. She's getting changes, getting swaps. All of a sudden she did a session with somebody and something revealed itself. Then she stopped doing the positive, happy journals. She stopped tapping and she says, none of it works for me. And the reason why it doesn't work is because she didn't do this. Are you doing the happy stuff? No. Are you doing tapping? No. And it's not working for me. I said, are you doing it? She said, no. Now, again, I guarantee you, had she stopped when they started getting worse, she started working on stuff, and she ended it right there, she would stay there. Seriously. And the thing that pushed her through, and the biggest problem I see with individuals, they find something scary and they run and hide. The miracle is just right after you push through the deepest and the darkest. It's right on the other side. It could be 3 taps later. And it's there. And so just, you can't hide from it anyway. It goes with you. So the biggest thing is, especially when I'm working on myself and I work on people. I'm working on Todd, and I'm working on Todd. We're changing stuff. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden we get the big one, and Todd goes, "It's not working. This doesn't work." Now, who's talking? Is it Todd or is it unconscious? His unconscious is. His conscious says, hey, I'm scared you're screwing up the dynamics inside my head. And so it's trying to scare Todd consciously. And that's what happens. That's why the rash, that's why the leg, that's why all the pains are trying to keep you safe in alignment and to protect you. But it also keeps you locked in a life of the past, the pain that you don't want. You know, that's the bizarreness of it. So the key is, first of all, if you have a system, which is our system, FasterEFT eutaptics, this system knows how to change it. It knows how to change it. Now, sometimes it could be really quick or sometimes it'll be longer because we have to figure out exactly what it is that you're doing within yourself to help maintain it. And sometimes, like with Linda, I mean, her brain tuck it away, hid it away, didn't want to reveal itself. And it has driven her behavior for a long time until the brain figures out that Linda's smart enough, cognitively, prefrontal cortex thinking, to handle it now. Then she goes, okay, I know what to do. And she taps on it, she gets her practitioner to clean it up. Now, a lot of our behaviors that are unpleasant, our illnesses, or whatever our issues are actually installed by unpleasantries, and we didn't deal with it because we didn't have the emotional skill to deal with it. So it just tucks away and hides away. I remember this one girl I was working with, and when we get to upper level training, we'll show you how to go in and find stuff that you know that could be there, but don't know how to get there. And so I used it on her, and it was over Skype, and all of a sudden she said, she's giving me full details, says, this can't be real, it can't be true, but the detail is so detailed. And what happened is our brain will capture stuff. We got the fight, flight, take off running, and then the freeze, fright, blank, numb and dumb, don't remember, frozen. It goes in the brain, and you don't even know it's there. And next thing you know, the combination is just right, the right thing, and all of a sudden, boom, full-blown memories. I see this a lot. Because again, the brain is a survival system. And if it's like the two women who were both raped and thought murdered. These guys were good rapers, but not good at killing people. It's very fortunate for the girls, except one of the girls was in a mental institution because she remembered everything. And the other girl couldn't remember anything, what happened. So which is better? Well, it's okay if you know how to get rid of it. But it's not okay to know if you keep going to therapies and all they do is give you drugs and it makes it worse and you talk about it for 1,000,000 years and then your brain starts escalating. It's almost like